Yes guys, it's FPL Guy here and welcome back to the FPL Guy YouTube channel. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. So in today's highly requested video, I'll be making the best Game Week 7 wildcard team. Now usually I give you 2 or 3 drafts and help you guys decide which one would probably be best for you. But in today's video, I'm just going to be making one draft, the best draft, which I think is going to be the best for Game Week 7. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, then a sub to the channel would be absolutely fantastic, and also dropping a like on the video would be very much appreciated. And one final thing, if you haven't already joined the FPL Guy mini league, then the code is at the top of the screen, or you can find the auto join link down in the description, so definitely get involved. With that being said, let me show you guys the team. So let me answer one very important question that I always get. When is the best time to wildcard, or is this game week the best time to wildcard? So I'm just going to give you the very cliche answer. It depends on your team. Now if you look at your team and you see that you want to make a couple of changes, Game Week 7 is a very nice time to do it. There's a lot of fixture swings happening, so this game week is a decent game week to do it in. Personally, if you're asking for myself, I'll be wildcarding in Game Week 8. Well, that's the plan anyway. In Game Week 8, I'll be hitting the wildcard button because Manchester United start to have slightly more tougher fixtures. And then we have Wolves, they have some nice fixtures, Leeds have some nice fixtures. So personally, I don't have many of their players. I have one Wolves player and one Leeds player, which is Ailing. So I want to get in some of their attackers. So that's when I think is the best time for me to wildcard. If you think in Game Week 7 and Game Week 8 you are covered, you have those Chelsea players, you have Leeds players, you have some Liverpool players, and you think you're covered, then there's no rush. You don't need to just hit the wildcard button because you're seeing other people do it. I see a lot of that happening. You see some content creators hit the wildcard button and then you decide to do it yourself when your team is actually pretty decent anyway. So make sure you're not just doing it because others are. If you want to wildcard, then definitely do so. If your team is sorted, then there's going to be opportunities later down the line, Game Week 12 and 13, 14, where you can hit the wildcard button. Alright, let me show you guys the team now. So first of all, we have to start with the City players. Now there's no way that I'm going to make a wildcard draft without a double up in defense with the City guys and then one City attacker. Now the players are pretty obvious, the ones that I'm going to get from City. It's going to be Cancelo. He's pretty much nailed on, has played 90 minutes every game so far. And then the other man is going to be Diaz. Now City are by far the best defense in the league. Now let me tell you guys some stats about it. In terms of shots in the box, City are first with only 21 shots in the box conceded, and then Manchester United are second with 31. In terms of shots conceded, Manchester City are obviously first with 36, and then second is Wolves at 60, so almost double. In terms of big chances conceded, Manchester City have only conceded 2, Everton is second with 6, and expected goals conceded, number 1 Manchester City at 2.2, and number 2nd is Brighton with 5.3. So you can see how dominating that defense is. Their numbers are just incredible. So definitely a double up in their defense is pretty much crucial in my opinion. And as for the attacker, I want to get in De Bruyne. Now he was injured, hasn't played 90 minutes yet, I do believe. Let me have a look. I think he played about 60-70 minutes last game. 80 minutes, there you go. So I think he is back and he is ready to play now. So as long as he's fit, ready to go, I think De Bruyne will be in my team. Now, as for the rest of the defense, I'm going to go for a Chelsea defender. They're also doing incredibly well. And someone who's incredibly attacking is Alonso. He's actually playing really decent and is pretty much nailed on now. So at 5.9, I think he's a decent option. And this run of fixture is also incredibly nice. So Alonso comes into the team. Now, talking about the Chelsea players, I might as well bring in the main man, Big Rom, Lukaku. He is an absolute must in my opinion, even if you have to get rid of Ronaldo for him. Look at the fixtures, incredible, and he's doing pretty decently anyway. Alongside Lukaku and Alonso, I'm going to bring in someone you may think is not the best pick, but he's been doing pretty decent. It's Kovacic. Now, I know he's probably not someone you would expect to get as an FPL asset. He's a very good player, but as an FPL asset, you know, it lifts a few eyebrows. But if you look at what he's done so far, 1 goal and 3 assists, which is not bad at all. he's doing pretty decently. So at 5.2, he's a very nice option. Now, I'll give you guys some other options that you can get in replace of Kovacic if you don't like him. I'll give you that towards the end of the wildcard team, so I can show you guys the rest of the team first. Now, let's finish off the defenders. I'm going to bring in Marcel. If you have the budget to get Semedo, I would 100% get Semedo over Marcel. But for my team and for my budget, which is 100.1 by the way, I can fit in Marcel. So he's going to pop into the team. And then to finalize, it's going to be Livramento, a nice cheap option who's actually incredibly attacking. He had quite a few chances in that Southampton against the Wolves game to get a couple of assists and even had a shot in the box. So he's definitely a very good pick. So he's getting put straight into the team. Moving on to the midfield, let me bring in the main man Salah. There's no way you're going to make a wildcard team without Mo Salah. He is on fire, as he is always. He's never not on fire. So let's get him in. And then the final two spots are going to go to Rafinha. Now Leeds have a very nice run of fixtures as well. So let me show you guys that. Here we go. As long as he is fit, which fingers crossed he is, this fixture run is very nice. Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Gets a little bit tough here, I guess. Leicester, Tottenham and even Brighton. And then he's got Crystal Palace, Brentford. So this run of fixtures is incredibly nice. And Rafinha, he's always sort of the central point, the main man in that Leeds team. Even when Bamford's fit, I think Rafinha is the Leeds key man. Now if he's fit, then I'll definitely have it in your team. And the final midfielder is just going to be a nice cheap option going for Sissoko. He doesn't have a nice run of fixtures, but he's cheap. He's going to be mainly on your bench, so nothing to worry there. Before we get into the strikers, let me fill out the goalkeepers. So who I'm going to go for? I'm going to go for Ramsdale. Now Arsenal's fixtures are pretty decent. If you have a look at them, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Leicester, Watford, Liverpool's going to be hard, then Newcastle. So it's not a bad run of fixtures, and how he's been performing in these 3 games is pretty decent. So I would expect him to continue playing in the goalkeeper as a goalkeeper for Arsenal. Now, if you're not a big fan of that Arsenal defense, which maybe a lot of you are, I would assume, you can go for the likes of, so let me bring out these options, McCarthy. Southampton defense isn't the best, but isn't the worst at the same time. And after the Chelsea game, they do have a fairly decent run of fixtures, so he's an option you could go for. Apart from him, I don't think there's anybody else really at that 4.5 million price range that you could go for. Personally, I like to keep it cheap in the goalkeeper department. I like to spread maximum budget on the outfield players. So that's why I'm only looking at the 4.5 options. So for now, I'm going to just leave Ramsdale in there. I think he's one of the better 4.5 options for the upcoming game weeks. And then finally, I'm going to just fit in Foster into here. A nice 4.0. So let's pop him in right there. And finally, going up top, we have to get the main man, Mikel Antonio. This guy is absolutely on fire. He's an absolute beast at the moment. He's literally returned in every game he's played except from that Southampton game, and obviously against United he was suspended, but he's absolutely on fire. And he hasn't got the easiest run of fixtures. He's got Everton, which could be tricky. Tottenham, I mean, we've just seen them absolutely got destroyed 3-1 by Arsenal, but I think could be a tight game there. Liverpool's hard, City's hard, but in the form that he's in, I think he can score in these games for most of the part. And finally, we have 4.5 left. So I am just going to fill out a bench option with Scarlett from Spurs. So there you go. That is pretty much the team which I think is the best team for your game weeks and wildcard. Now, elephant not in the room is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know this guy is absolutely probably the best in terms of attacking returns for defenders. However, I think the fact that you've gone for double City and that Chelsea attacking players in the defense, so that's Alonso and Cancelo. I think that pretty much covers for Trent. Now Trent's numbers, if we're just looking at them individually, Trent is definitely on top. And if you want, you can squeeze him in some way. That'll just decrease the strength of the rest of the squad. So I think this is fairly balanced team in terms of defense, midfield and attack. If you want to get in Trent, you might have to then downgrade some other players, which will then obviously ruin that balance that you have. But if you think he is essential, then definitely you can go for him. The reason that I have avoided him is, as I mentioned, I think these guys can cover him, and also Liverpool's run of fixtures aren't the easiest, so maybe it is time where you can look elsewhere at slightly cheaper defenders, which I have done in this draft. Now with this draft, you would mainly be playing a 4-4-2 formation, but with the defenders that you have, they're pretty much all attacking. You could say Diaz is maybe less attacking than the rest, but you can even play a 5 at the back. A 5-3-2 formation would also work. It's not a very popular formation, but literally all of these defenders are very attacking apart from Diaz. However, Manchester City are very likely to keep clean sheets in majority of their games anyway, so you can literally have all 5 of them playing. Now if you have a slightly higher budget than me, I had 100.1. If you have a slightly higher one, you can then remove Kovacic if you're not a big fan of him, and get someone like Doucouré or even Gray if you can squeeze there. So let me show you guys the potential option. Let me go 5.6, and you can see that you could go for Doucouré here, and I believe Gray is 5.8. Yeah, he's 5.8, so maybe you can even stretch to him if you'd like, but I know a lot of you guys don't have that much of a budget, so Doucouré is still a very decent option. He's been playing really well and maybe slightly underlooked, I think, in that Everton team. So definitely you could go for him. Another option is going for Gallagher at 5.7. He's pretty much nailed in every game, and I'm recording this just before the Brighton vs Crystal Palace game. So let's see how he performs in that game. With the run of fixtures he has, it's pretty decent apart from obviously the City game, and maybe the Arsenal game could be tough. But apart from that, he has a fairly decent run of fixtures, and he's creating a lot of chances and getting a lot of shots for himself as well in that Crystal Palace team. So you could potentially squeeze him in. For now, let me put back Kovacic. There we go. So let me know guys, what do you think of this draft? What kind of changes would you make to it? So I think this is a very solid draft. You can go for your Game Week 7 wildcard. Let me know, what things do you like about it? What things do you dislike about it? I'm really intrigued to know. Let me know down in the comment section. I think you have a nice spread of those highly owned players so you don't lose rank, but you also have a sprinkle of those differential players which will help you boost up the ranks too. So we'll leave it at that for today's video guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. It would very much be appreciated. And once again, if you want to join the FPL Guy Mini League, then you can find this code at the top of the screen. And with that being said guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.